I just want to say thank you for your time and effort in coming to this press conference. It's supposed to be a press conference. Rosemer will read a statement. Sir, if you would listen carefully.
Okay, on March 14, 2012, at a press conference called by PIDC, the former president of PIDC, Minda Neri, publicly made allegations of financial reporting irregularities with regard to the beauty pageants under my stewardship when I was a member of the board of PIDC. During the press conference, Neri stated that PIDC had no money, which invited questions from some media folks as to why that is and where all the monies from the lucrative pageants went. Without the benefit of a proper internal or external audit and without providing factual details, Neri insinuated that monies raised from the beauty pageants that I managed were either not completely reported. I was literally stabbed in the back in a public forum where I was not physically present and unable to defend myself. Neri's allegations of incomplete or improper financial reporting on my part are categorically and unqualifiedly untrue and are calculated to defame me and to deprive me of support for my current organization, PCCF, which poses a threat to PIDC. The pounding I received from some media quarters based on Neri's baseless accusations were no less insidious. With relentless obsession never before witnessed by the Filipino community, Neri's allegations of impropriety and attacks against me, though described as nothing more than speculation, have been picked up, published, and sensationalized by a media organization that likewise has an interest in another competing beauty pageant, both in written and video form. All of these have caused immense and irreparable harm to my personal reputation, as well as that of my husband, who has served honorably as PIDC president for 4 years and is currently serving as a school board trustee. The false and misleading statements and innuendos by Neri and the biased and socially irresponsible reporting by the media organization I have alluded to all suggested wrongdoing, which has seriously and undermined our good standing in the community. For the record, complete financial reports for the 2010 pageants under my responsibility were handed over by me to the PIDC's treasurer, Al Tupe, in 4 separate brown envelopes, one for each of Little Miss Philippines, Miss Philippines, Mrs. Philippines, and artists' expenses on November 2010. Contrary to Neri's allegations, I have never been notified for any incompleteness or other irregularities concerning the 2010 reports, either by Al Tupe or by Neri's auditor body either. Quite the contrary, we were assured by Al Tupe in conversations with June and former Treasurer Daniel Penular immediately after the March 14 press conference that all submitted reports were fine. Also, in a fundraising event on March 17, 2012, again, we were assured by Al Tupe in conversations with June and Maria Gial that all submitted reports were fine. I have always been available to the treasurer and auditor involved to answer any questions that they have regarding the accounts and reports submitted. With respect to the earlier years, 06, 07, 08, and 09, complete financial reports have been submitted to the then current treasurers, typically within 3 months after the conclusion of each pageant. Again, with respect to these reports, I have never been notified of any incompleteness or any other irregularities by the treasurers or auditors concerned, except with respect to 209, wherein certain liabilities recorded in a suspense account required documentation, canceled checks, which were with the bank and were eventually obtained and provided. I wish to inform everyone that I cannot take the insinuations of financial wrongdoing against me lightly, and that I have consulted a law firm to study and advise me of my rights and remedies in light of what I consider to be slanderous statements. Neri's maneuvering is plainly an attempt to discredit me personally in the eyes of the Filipino community, now that I am running a competing organization. As many of you know, I served under Neri for 1 year, 2010, I resigned my position in January 2011 as a result of a decision made under the leadership of NERI that left me in a position of conflict of interest as one of the Philippines TV network representatives in Canada. No one in our community to be falsely accused or maligned publicly. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, PCCF officers, and other people in attendance. So that is Rosemer's statements, and Rosemer had informed you earlier that she had invited the officers of the PIDC to attend this press con so that they may be on hand to defend themselves in case something is said that they do not agree with. Unfortunately, they have chosen to absent themselves from this press con. Under the circumstances, Rosemer will not be entertaining any questions from the floor at this time. Thank you very much for coming.
So how could this be a press conference?
It's a press conference.
That's why at the beginning I said supposed to be.
What?
Yeah. Why don't you just say you're making a press
Press
statement?
statement. Just
instead of,
issue a press
you know?
statement and send it to us. Why the hell? Why the hell waste our Sunday and then calling a press conference and then you're not entertaining any questions?
Well, that's why in the beginning I said thank you for your time. And
Thank you
effort.
very much.
My goodness.
Let's
No,
go.
no, no, no. Can I say
Maybe one
something,
question.
please?
Okay, there's one.
Can I say something, please? You know what? Ten is right. Why don't you just entertain a question? In the first place, these allegations have been made against Rosemer or the Envergas, for that matter, at a PIDC conference wherein they were absent, right? So, okay, they were informed. The whole organization of PIDC, did you say that nobody can attend this meeting? Did you say that? Okay. Then be it. Then allow the questions.
Okay. Probably what we can do at the moment, right? I
Don't worry, everything is recorded. Say, there's a camera there, there's a camera here.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
chance to clear yourself, you know. That's why you call this press conference.
I will be able to respond some questions, but I will not be going into details regarding the financial. Because I think
Why
the
not?
financial,
That is the
because the financial reports belong to PIDC and everything was submitted to them and they are responsible and answerable for all the financial statements.
But that's the whole crux of the issue, the
Well,
financial statements.
I am not an auditor, I am not a treasurer. So
Okay.
I think the financial statements are the responsibility of PIDC and the ownership belongs to PIDC.
So you
So
said
if
you're not
any
the auditor?
If any questions regarding financial, I think you have to direct it to PIDC.
So why do you
When-
clear yourself?
When you say
Why do you clear
financial,
yourself when you're not the auditor?
when you say financials, are you
No,
referring to?
hold on. My question is, why do you clear yourself when you're not the auditor?
I am clearing myself in respect to, as a pageant chair, I submitted everything that's needed to the financial committee of PIDC, which is the treasurer.
That's what we want to see.
Well, ask PIDC. PIDC owns the financial statements.
So in effect, there is no one in PIDC clearing you of
Exactly.
anything. You are just making a statement that Mr. Altupe accepted your financial reports, but nobody, not the auditor, has ever cleared you.
The statement that I read a while ago, you will be receiving an email from me and it states there clearly.
Okay, can I add something to Romy's statement? The financial statement that you are referring to, with which you refuse to answer questions, are you only referring to the amount? Let me ask you several questions.
That's right, yeah.
Firstly, when did you submit your statement to the PIDC?
November 2010.
November 2010. Okay. When was the PIDC press conference?
March 14, 2012.
Okay, you were a member before PIDC and June was the president. Are you familiar with the constitution and bylaws of the PIDC?
Yeah, that it should be, the treasurer will be answerable to all financial statements.
Okay, after the submission of the financial statements, of course, you know, no matter what the constitution says, sometimes financial